Morning, this is Pastor Jay from Messiah Lutheran Church in Yorba Linda. I was reading this morning in Mark chapter 4. In verse 30, Jesus asks to what we can compare the kingdom of God. And then he went on to tell a story that we sometimes call the parable of the mustard seed. This got me thinking about what it means to live in the kingdom of God in this earth, on this earth. As Dallas Willard often said, the gospel is really more about how to live in the kingdom of God, in the reign of God, in God's rules, by God's values on this earth, than it is about how to get to heaven when we die. So I was thinking about, what does it mean to do that, to live by God's values, to live in the reign of God? And I'm convinced that part of what that means is to really believe what Paul says when he says that death has lost its sting, that whether we live or die, we are the Lord's. To believe that to live is Christ, but to die is gain, because we trust the Lord for our eternal future. And when we trust the Lord for our eternal future, we can take our emphasis off of ourselves, off of our own self-preservation, off of our own good, and serve others. In a recent episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Philip J. Coulson, who has died 2 times, 3 times, I've kind of lost track, but keeps in one way or another being brought back to life, says, "I'm not afraid of death. You see, death is actually sort of my superpower." And then he blows up the ship that he's on, full of aliens who are trying to take over the world, because that sort of thing happens all the time in the Marvel universe. But he blows up the ship that he's on. He sacrifices himself. And he sacrifices himself because he's not afraid of death. I know a lot of people who are worried these days about self-preservation. And there's, quite honestly, in this age of COVID-19, there is reason to be worried about self-preservation. But maybe there's even more reason to be worried about being a vector and being the cause of other people getting sick than you are about getting sick yourself. Maybe there's reason to care more about other people. Maybe it's possible to care more about other people than you care about yourself, because we trust that the Lord will take care of us in eternity. As I struggle with this, I sometimes find myself coming back to what Martin Luther would have said, which is, now that you don't have to worry about yourself, what are you going to do? How are you going to serve others? If the Christian ethic is loving and serving our neighbor, let's all look for ways to serve our neighbors in this time. Let's take the emphasis off of ourselves and look for ways to serve those around us. God bless you. Have a great day.